Here's something the car business would rather you never work out. The most reliable SUVs ever built are the ones they advertise the least. Think about why. A vehicle that runs 25 years and 300,000 miles is a customer who doesn't come back. No new loan, no trade-in, no payment feeding the machine. The money was never in building you a car that lasts. It's in building you one that quits the day after the warranty does. I've spent my career with these things up on the hoist, and the ones that survive aren't a mystery. They're the same handful of names over and over, crossing mileage that makes a service writer's eyes go wide. So I pulled the longevity data, real studies, hundreds of millions of vehicles, and lined it up against what I actually watched survive in the Bay. 16 SUVs, the ones I'd tell my own family to buy once and drive until the wheels beg for mercy. Some you'll nod along to. A few will surprise you. And the one at number 1 has a fair claim to being the last vehicle you'd ever need to buy. A machine so overbuilt it's outlived governments, and it's still the reliability king of its class today. Stay with me, and you'll know exactly which badge to hunt for on the used lot, and which second car payment you'll never have to make. Number 16, Subaru Forester. We start with the one that quietly outlives every trendy crossover parked next to it. The Forester isn't flashy, and that's the whole point. Standard all-wheel drive, a boxer engine sitting low and simple, and a design Subaru barely fusses with from one year to the next, which is why it keeps landing near the top of its class for dependability. Here's what the salesman won't lead with. A Forester holds its value and keeps running so long that it's a lousy way to sell you a replacement. They'd rather move you into something newer and needier. I've watched these cross 200,000 miles looking almost bored by it. The owners who change the fluids on time barely see the inside of my shop. That's the one caveat worth your money. Keep the transmission fluid fresh. Don't let anyone tell you it's lifetime, and this thing will run for 2 decades. A clean used Forester runs $12,000 to $18,000, and it's the rare all-wheel drive that won't hand you a repair bill bigger than the payment you skipped. Number 15, Subaru Outback. Stay in the Subaru family a moment, because the Outback earns its own spot. Picture 2 wagons at the same 180,000 miles, a trendy crossover that's already swallowed a transmission and a pile of electronics, and an Outback that's had fluids, brakes, and tires, and nothing that ever left its owner on the shoulder. Same money up front, wildly different decade behind the wheel. The reliability studies this year put the Outback at the very top of its class, and it's the same recipe as the Forester: all-wheel drive, a simple flat engine, and Subaru's habit of leaving a good thing alone. What the industry won't tell you is that boring and unchanged is the entire secret. Every redesign resets the clock on a fresh batch of problems, and the Outback mostly refuses to play that game. Buy one a few years old, keep the maintenance honest, and you've got a go-anywhere car for $15,000 to $23,000 that'll shrug off winters long after a flashier badge is in the scrapyard. Number 14, Mazda CX-5. Now, a question for anyone who's owned a Mazda. When's the last time a CX-5 owner you know got stranded by something catastrophic? You have to think hard, and that's your answer. Mazda built the CX-5 on a stubbornly conventional recipe while everyone else chased tiny turbos and gimmicks. A proven engine, a real automatic transmission, no science experiment under the hood, and the reliability people rated it dependable year after year for more than a decade. Here's the part the mandate crowd won't say out loud. Mazda resisted downsizing into a strained little turbo for as long as it could, and that restraint is exactly why these engines age so well, instead of cooking themselves out of the warranty. Want proof it's cheap to keep? An oil and filter service runs $40 to $80, with no timing belt drama or turbo rebuild waiting to ambush you down the road. Skip the newest redesign, find a sorted used one, and the CX-5 will go the distance while costing you almost nothing to feed. Number 13, Honda CR-V. The CR-V is the one I get asked about more than any other, and there's a reason it earned that trust. A retired nurse I know bought hers used, drove it to work and back for years, and rolled past 250,000 miles on the original engine and transmission. Her whole maintenance history was oil, tires, brakes, and one set of plugs. That was it. She told me she'd never buy anything else. 15 winters, and it never once left her stranded. Honda's recipe is the same discipline that makes all of these last. A naturally aspirated engine that isn't working itself to death, and a company that resisted the urge to cram in fragile complexity. The dealers would love to move you into something newer, with a bigger screen and a smaller, harder working engine, one that's built to need them again. The CR-V isn't. A tidy used CR-V runs $16,000 to $24,000, and it's the kind of buy that ends the cycle of car payments instead of feeding it. Those are the everyday workhorses, the ones hiding in plain sight on every used lot. Next, we climb into the ones that cost a little more upfront and pay you back in decades. Number 12, Toyota RAV4. The RAV4 is the best-selling thing Toyota makes, and that's no accident. I see them everywhere, at every mileage, and the pattern is boringly consistent. The ones that get basic maintenance simply keep going. No strained little turbo pretending to be a bigger engine. No dual-clutch gearbox playing at being an automatic. Just a proven four-cylinder and a transmission Toyota has spent decades getting right. Here's what the market won't say out loud. The RAV4 holds its value so stubbornly that a used one isn't cheap. That's the tell. Nobody pays a premium for a used money pit. They pay it for something they know will still be running at 250,000 miles. Buy a clean used one, keep the oil changed on time, and you've got a compact that shrugs off winters and years alike. A tidy used RAV4 runs $18,000 to $26,000, more than a bargain crossover, and worth every dollar of the payment you'll never have to make again. Number 11. Acura MDX. Now the luxury three-row that quietly embarrasses the badges parked next to it. Put an MDX beside a German luxury SUV at the same 150,000 miles. The German car has likely eaten an air suspension, an electronics module or two, and a repair bill that stings, while the MDX has a Honda V6 underneath asking for little more than oil and respect. Same leather, same size, a completely different relationship with your wallet. The longevity studies put the MDX among the longest-lasting vehicles on the road, luxury or not, because it's a proven Honda in a nicer suit, not a science project. Here's the trap the German brands set. They build cars to feel incredible for a 3-year lease, then get expensive right about when you finally own one outright. While you're thinking about miles, drop a comment and tell me the highest mileage you've ever put on a single vehicle. The numbers this audience posts would put a new car salesman in a cold sweat. The MDX skips the whole trap. Where a German rival can hand you a $4,500 to $8,000 repair out of warranty, the Acura just keeps showing up. Number 10. Lexus RX. Ask yourself something simple. When's the last time you saw a Lexus RX broken down on the side of the road? You're struggling to picture it, and that isn't luck. The RX is a Toyota Highlander underneath, wearing the nicest interior in the class. All that Lexus dependability isn't magic. It's Toyota engineering with the volume turned up on comfort instead of gimmicks. What the luxury market won't admit is that most premium SUVs charge you more to own less dependable machinery. The RX does the opposite, a premium price for a car that refuses to break. These cross 250,000 miles on routine service and clean fuel, and the interiors age better than anything else in the class. Find a used RX in the 19,000 to 29,000 range, keep the maintenance simple, and you've bought a decade of quiet you'll never have to think about. Number 9. Honda Pilot. The Pilot is the family hauler that quietly refuses to die. A retired machinist I know bought one to move kids in gear, and he's still driving it, well past 200,000 miles, on the same V6 it wore out of the factory. His secret wasn't luck. He kept the timing belt on schedule and never skipped an oil change, and the thing rewarded him by never once leaving him stranded. That's the whole formula with a Pilot. A naturally aspirated Honda V6, a roomy body Honda didn't overcomplicate, and maintenance any decent shop can handle. The dealers would rather sell you a newer three-row with a turbo and a touchscreen. More to break, more to bill. The Pilot came from the era Honda built them to last. The one number to respect is the timing belt. Budget $700 to $1,000 every 100,000 miles, and treat it as the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. Everything so far has been Japanese engineering doing what it does. The next two prove even a big American SUV can go the distance, as long as it's built the old simple way. Number 8. Chevrolet Tahoe. Here's the one that surprises people, because it wears a bow tie instead of a Toyota badge. The Tahoe lasts for a simple, physical reason. It's built the old way, body-on-frame construction, a real steel frame with the body bolted on top, and a big V8 that loafs along barely working instead of a little turbo screaming for its life. Low stress is long life. That's the whole mechanism. Here's what the dealer won't volunteer. There's one thing to watch on these: the cylinder deactivation system, the feature that shuts off half the engine to save a drop of fuel. It's the weak link, and it's why plenty of owners have it switched off to protect the lifters. Do that, and the V8 underneath will run damn near forever. That's a real caveat, and it's exactly the kind of built-in, fuel-saving gimmick that costs you more than it ever saves. A clean used Tahoe runs $20,000 to $32,000, and kept simple, it'll outlast almost anything else wearing an American badge. Number 7. Chevrolet Suburban. The Suburban is the Tahoe's longer brother, and it's the single longest-lasting American SUV you can buy. The longevity study puts it around a 22% chance of reaching 250,000 miles, nearly 3 times the rate of the average SUV, and by a wide margin the best of anything built on this continent. There's a reason airport shuttles and black car fleets run these into the ground and keep coming back for more. Same simple body-on-frame recipe as the Tahoe. Same big, understressed V8, just more room to haul a family and everything they own. What the industry won't say is that this kind of durability is a choice they mostly stopped making. Simple, overbuilt, and repairable by any competent shop. Watch the same cylinder deactivation gremlin, keep the maintenance basic, and it'll go the distance. The real math is this: keeping a paid-off Suburban alive another year costs a fraction of the $800 a month a new full-size SUV would strap to your loan. Number 6, Toyota Highlander. Back to Toyota for the three-row millions of families quietly lean on. Line up a proven Highlander against a trendy turbocharged three-row at the same 160,000 miles. The turbo rig is on borrowed time, carboned up, working hard, expensive the day it lets go. While the Highlander with the naturally aspirated V6 is just getting comfortable. That older V6 Highlander is the one you want. It's the engine that built the reputation and stuffed these onto every longevity list. Simple, unstressed, and stubbornly reliable. Here's the part worth knowing before you shop. Toyota recently swapped that V6 for a smaller Turbo 4 to chase fuel numbers, and the newest ones haven't earned their stripes yet. On the used lot, favor the proven V6, or step up to the hybrid, which is next. A good used V6 Highlander runs $21,000 to $31,000, and it pays you back in a decade of not shopping for another one. Quick reminder before number 5. If these picks are steering you toward a smart buy, tap that subscribe button. It's the one thing that keeps this channel going. Number 5, Toyota Highlander Hybrid. If you want the Highlander that goes the absolute distance, it's the hybrid. The longevity data ranks it around a 31% chance of hitting 250,000 miles, third highest of any vehicle studied, and proof that Toyota's hybrid system isn't a liability, it's an advantage. That surprises people, because the fear is always the battery. Here's the truth that worry misses. Toyota has built this hybrid setup for over 2 decades. The electric side actually eases the load on the gas engine, and the battery rarely needs replacing. But if it ever does, it's a $1,500 to $3,000 part, not the catastrophe the rumor mill promises. The result is a 3-row that sips fuel and outlives nearly everything parked around it. Find a used Highlander hybrid, keep up the routine service, and you've got a family hauler with a real shot at 250,000 miles. Everything left is Toyota's toughest hardware, the body-on-frame legends built to shrug off decades. The last 4 are the ones I'd stake my own name on. Number 4, Lexus GX. The GX is the best-kept secret on this whole list because most people don't realize what it actually is. Under that Lexus badge sits a Toyota Land Cruiser. The same body-on-frame bones, the same overbuilt drivetrain designed to survive the roughest corners of the planet, just wrapped in leather and quiet. That's the mechanism behind its longevity. It was engineered for places with no repair shop for 500 miles, so a suburban life of grocery runs barely taxes it. Here's what to know before you buy. The Legend was built on the older GX with the naturally aspirated V8. Simple, unburstable, the one that earned the reputation. Toyota just moved the newest GX to a twin-turbo V6, and that one hasn't proven itself yet. So hunt for a proven V8 GX. It runs 28 to 42,000 used, holds its value like few luxury SUVs can, and it'll still be running long after its German rivals are parted out. Number 3, Toyota 4Runner. At number 3, the 4Runner, the SUV that treats 250,000 miles as a warm-up. A rural mail carrier I know has hammered one-down gravel roads for years, the kind of daily punishment that eats ordinary SUVs alive, and it just rolled past 300,000 miles on the original engine. He does almost nothing but oil, fluids, and tires. The longevity study backs up what he's living. The 4Runner has nearly a 1 in 3 shot at 250,000 miles, and the top reliability rating in its class. The reason is the same as the legends around it. For close to 15 years, it used one proven V6 and a simple automatic, unchanged, while the rest of the industry chased complexity. The newest 4Runner just switched to a Turbo 4, so on the used lot, favor the proven V6. It's the one that built this reputation. A clean used V6 4Runner runs $25,000 to $38,000, and it holds value so well, it's almost an investment. But as tough as the 4Runner is, it still isn't the one I promised you at the very top. Number 2, Toyota Sequoia. Number 2 is the single longest-lasting vehicle in America, not the longest-lasting SUV, the longest-lasting vehicle period. The data gives the Sequoia a 39% chance of reaching 250,000 miles, more than 8 times the average vehicle on the road. Nothing else comes close. That durability was earned by the old Sequoia with the big, lazy V8, an engine barely working even when it's hauling, which is precisely why it goes so far. Toyota moved the newest ones to a twin-turbo hybrid, so once again, the proven pick is the used V8 generation. People overlook the Sequoia because it's big, thirsty, and Toyota barely advertises it. That's the whole point. They don't push the thing that lasts longest because a customer who buys once isn't a customer who comes back. A clean, older Sequoia runs $30,000 to $45,000, and it holds its value because everyone who owns one knows what they've got. And yet, with the best odds of any vehicle in the country, it still isn't my number one. Because there's one machine that proved itself somewhere the Sequoia never had to. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser. Here it is. The Toyota Land Cruiser. The closest thing the world has ever built to a vehicle that simply refuses to die. This is the truck relief agencies drive across deserts with no dealer for 1,000 miles. It tops the reliability ratings for its entire class, year after year, because it was overbuilt for a job most owners will never once ask of it. That's the secret. A Land Cruiser treats an American suburb like a vacation. The abuse it was designed to shrug off means your worst day of driving barely registers. The legend was built on the body-on-frame V8 generations. Simple, staggeringly durable, the kind that crosses 300,000 miles and gets handed down instead of traded in. Yes, they're expensive, even used. A clean one runs $35,000 to $55,000, but here's the math that matters. It holds its value like almost nothing else on 4 wheels, and it's the rare vehicle you can honestly buy as your last one. Buy it once, maintain it simply, and it will very likely outlast your need to ever shop for a car again. That's the whole point of this list. In a business building cars to fail you, a handful were built to outlast you. And now you know exactly which badges to hunt for on the lot. If you want the flip side, the SUVs and cars I'd tell you to run from, the money pits mechanics are begging you not to buy. That video is waiting on the screen to your left. Go see which ones made that list. I'll meet you there.